Hi guys, Tomor here. It's um, it's Friday evening, and it's a very beautiful evening outside. It's been sunshine most of the day. I've had my lovely bath in the ocean. I've been out walking barefoot and the moth, and the moss, and the grass, and I've been eating lovely dinner and supper and breakfast and been processing some things during this day. There's a lot going on within me. Even though I managed to steer my course basically, um, particularly with use of living words and to focus on my beingness, who I am as a being. And also breath application, always being aware of my breathing and working to find the perspective of self-honesty basically. Um, to always find myself where I'm honest with myself, like expression wise or how I appear basically. Um, because energies and personalities and feelings and emotions will drag me into the thinking game in the mind. Thinking about things doesn't get me anywhere, practically. So I realized lately how much systems recycle themselves. Systems of our minds recycle themselves. A very interesting thing to understand. It's also referred to as mindfucks, perhaps. Mindfucks, like running in a hamster wheel, basically. How one could start out with a initial energy, say for instance fear energy, and this would build up into anger energy, and then one would perhaps spin this into depression, perhaps via projection or via blame or via something, and then ending up in depression and going into fear of what one should do and when one's depressed, feeling suicidal, and the whole thing repeats itself basically. And you know, it's interesting with energies because energies is like we extract the colorful feeling energies, feelings or emotions. Feelings is like the positive, while emotions is a negative. And there's a distinct difference between the two feelings, positive, emotions, negative, and there's a distinct difference. But their source is the same. The source of the polarized energies we experience as humanity that is driving us into out of focus, basically, out of that self-honest focus. You know, the polarity, the polarities that is driving us out of self-honest and self-responsible focus, the energies source is from the physical. What does that mean? It means that our the energies we experience as love or fear or joy or anxiety, or the energies we experience within ourselves, the source of that is physical bodies. And it's like it's the same we're doing within ourselves, where we extract physical resources from our physical body or home. We extract tissue, samples of our muscle and of our physical alive body to have an energetic mind experience from that. That's the understanding of how thinking actually manifests itself, actually works. It's the extraction of physical resources from the physical body into mind entertainment, basically. Energies and polarized energies. And it's the same that humanity does on the outside of the world, where we extract oil and gold and diamonds and cattle and woods and rice and potatoes. And we extract this from earth. We take it from earth. We take the oil, we take the cattle, we take the timber. Very greedy, we take it and consume it, and pew, off it goes. Party! You know? And from this outside external extraction of humanity, where we're extracting oil, the extracting resources from the physical earth, we do the exact same inside ourselves, in our minds, in our thinking process. The exact same we do. And we all do this, no matter how green or how left or how right or how religious or whatever, how we perceive ourselves. We all have been living this with extracting physical resources from our home or the bodies, the living vessel that is carrying us through this life. We extract through it to have thinking and then to have entertainment in our minds of feelings and emotions, yada 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 yada, the whole thing going on. And we do the exact thing, exploiting of Mother Nature, this earth. It's the identical thing we do within, so without. So that's why we walk the process. That's why we want to stop the mind. Because when I change within myself, in my living, in my home, in my castle, my physical life source, that is my body, when I change, the world changes because of my change. So if we are one changer, and if you're more people who change themselves to stop the participation in thoughts, in feelings, in emotions, in personalities, in all the commotion that is built up in the mind system, if we stop it, we just stop it. Stop, breathe, reassess, ground yourself, find common sense. It's a massive operation, but it doesn't have to be difficult. It is so difficult to make it, and if you know, we want to make this place into a better world for the people who come after us. Most of us do that, and in order to do that, we must change ourselves. And I've changed myself. I am not the person I was 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 12 years ago, or 17 years ago, when I was still an adult, basically. I mean, or when I was a kid, or a youth, or whatever. I mean, the point is that I walked through quite many doors of change. I've been shutting some doors for good. I've been closing off some areas in my mind, in my thinking, in my dark mind, my negative, my secret mind. I've been stopping addictions of myself and changing myself, discovering myself and realizing myself, empowering myself, forgiving myself as I go. So it's up to each and every one of us to how much we are willing to change from the extracting of resources of our own goddamn bodies. That's what makes us age. Thinking and worrying and all those feelings and emotions, that's what makes us age. That's what makes us sick. Virus in Latin is translated to toxin and poison. Virus in Latin is translated into toxin and poison. And most of the poison that we as humanity experience doesn't come from the air we breathe or the food we eat or the water we drink. There's poison there too, obviously, quite a lot. But the most of the devastating poison that humanity is taking in comes from our own mind systems individually. Our thinking, our feelings, and our emotions. And all that hamster wheels actions, they're looping and looping and looping and looping and looping, you know? Thanks to Destiny I process, I'm a changed man, you know? And I wouldn't be here without it. And yeah, if I can change, anybody can change. And I challenge you to find ways of forgiveness or however you work yourself to stop participating in thoughts, to stop participating in feelings and emotions, and find self grounded, rooted, anchored in the body, the physical divinity of self. That's a challenge because we are programmed and we are raised up to believe in and have these programs of ego, consciousness, thinking, feelings and emotions, love, fear, hate, desire, all these things that we're programmed with, hardwired. Oh, it's so hardwired and so layered. How we are raised to obey to our own inner ego and our own mind system, which is a imagination, and imaginations are non-reality, which means that all the systems that we have founded, that we have ever started, based on imagination and thinking and feelings and emotions, are just empty, nothing, just empty systems, basically. Systems that have been emptied because they don't really exist. Like the government system, like finance systems, education system, agricultural system, all the systems, first democracies or government systems are based on deceit. Like in Greece, like in Iceland with the Vikings, and Norway with Vikings. It was always men, adult men, 25 plus, with money, with land, with influence, they were like and those people in Athens and Greece and everywhere, people with status, that are like with status, with money, with land, with age, and the men only, not the women, but the men only, were the ones, was where we call the cradle of democracy, or what we call it, which is a great deceit because it was all a scam, basically. So all of our systems that we have created needs to be turned upside down, basically, because of how we have been exploiting, because how we have individually, because of how we have all been individually exploiting ourselves, our bodies, to age and to sickness, only to keep ourselves entertained in the mind with flings and love and bliss and fear and hate and all these things. It's like an organic robot. And it's the same that humanity does within, so without. We extract the oil, the diamonds, the gold, the timber, the cattle. We extract and we extract and we extract. And there's nothing left practically. Because we consume it to death. And that's what we do with ourselves as well. And the real virus is our thinking. Yeah, the real virus is our thinking because it poisons us. The feelings, emotions, and thought process is what is poisoning humanity today. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your day now.